What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and thank you so much for tuning in to what's going to be, as you could probably tell by my bare face, a get ready with me using some new products. Most of these I have used at least once, maybe twice, but some of these are totally new to me, so I just kind of wanted to sit down and see what our first impressions of them were together, you know? Oh, we have a 90s tendril moment happening. Do we love it? Do we hate it? I kind of love it. I kind of love the nostalgia. Let's roll with it. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so because I'm using cream shadows in this look, I don't have to worry about fallout, so I'm going to go ahead and start with foundation. The foundation that I'm using here is from Range Beauty. It's their True Intentions Hydrating Foundation, and I have actually had at least one of these bottles for weeks and weeks at this point, but I ordered the wrong shade. The shade that I picked up was Dune. It is a little too deep for my skin tone. And when I went online, now having Dune as a reference, I thought I found what would be my perfect match, but it was out of stock. And so I thought, well, I'll just overcorrect to get something too light and mix the two together to make my perfect shade. And the few times that I've used this, it's really worked out well, but there has been a little bit of fine tuning my mixology to get just the right shade. What I found is working is a pump of Dune. This is actually a nail polish, like an acrylic nail polish block I got off of Amazon. I thought it was going to be bigger, but it's not a bad size, and it comes in handy when mixing things like this. So one pump of Dune, and then a pump in like a half of the lighter shade that I got, which is coconut milk. I forget if I mentioned that before. So like a pump and a half of that. The thing with these pumps, I love that they have a pump, but it's hard to get an in-between pump size, like half pump increments, if you know what I mean. So I do tend to dispense a little bit too much product when I do this, but well worth it because even though I've only used this twice, it's an amazing formula. Oh, and that might be too light. Well, we'll see. So this formula is on this thicker. Ooh, that's a lot of product. That is probably all the product we need. The formula is on the thicker side, especially compared to something like a Pat McGrath foundation or Uma Beauty's foundation, the Say What foundation. It's thicker than that, more like a lotion as opposed to a thinner serum texture. But I really like it. It's very blendable. It's very buildable, so you can get although you would never know because I piled it on today, you can get a lighter coverage and it looks really, really nice, but you can also layer it up and it doesn't look too cakey at all. It's super beautiful and it's kind of dewy. It gives you this lit from within glow despite feeling and acting like a matte foundation. I can't explain how this lays on the skin or why or how it lays so nicely on the skin. I have combo skin, so I tend to struggle with oiliness in my T-zone and getting my foundation to stay put and not break apart in that area of my face. But, and I'm acne prone, so I have texture to worry about as well. But I'm also like dry in these areas of my face, so I have to just be good about skincare and foundation formulas to make sure that I have something that's not going to overwhelm the oil at my T-zone and yet is also going to be hydrating enough to not, emphasize any sort of dry texture I might have in around the perimeter of my face. So that's fun. But my point in explaining that is that this foundation does that really, really well. And I actually wore this to the grocery store one day, and of the foundations that I've been wearing lately, this one transferred the least in my mask, and my mask has a white lining, so it's a pretty good judge of exactly how transfer proof whatever I'm wearing is. And yeah, I mean, there wasn't no transfer, but it was very, very minimal. So it lasts nicely too, even when you're sweating in your mask. Okay, now concealer. I have nothing new for concealer, so let's just breeze right on through this. I'm going to use my Pat McGrath, the Skin Fetish Sublime. This has a crazy long name, but it's an amazing concealer, and mine is in the shade L7. I put one dab under each eye because the coverage of my foundation is so full, plus the texture of this Pat McGrath concealer also it's a pretty full coverage. It's relatively thick and creamy and rich, and a little goes a long way. And now that that's blended, I have another item from Range Beauty. I also picked up their Smooth Out Translucent Setting Powder because I've become a setting powder person. I don't know when actually I do know what happened. It's the masks. I've been looking for every which way to keep my makeup from transferring, and I found a few that I really love. So I'm gonna take a brush And I am going to go in here. I do like their pots have a sifter that you can kind of open and close. It has this little handle here. I'll show you in the close-up, but I like that because if you get too much in there like this, you can just close it up and use whatever you have in the cap, and you don't, especially if you travel with it, don't have to worry about your jar toppling, you know, over in your bag and a ton of product ending up in your cap, and then it's just really hard to manage a loose powder product when you don't have like that closure in the little sifter. Anywho, I'm going to take this brush and I'm just going to pat that in my under eye area, not taking a ton of it because I still, even though I'm kind of now on the translucent powder bandwagon, I'm not committed. I'm not in an involved relationship with it. I'm just flirting with it. Otherwise, my under eyes are just crease city. They just look dry as a desert. And then I'll take whatever's left on my brush and just like put that especially on my chin area. Normally I would just cover the center because that's where I'm oiliest, but I just tend to cover wherever my mask goes. And then in my forehead as well. I really like this powder. Like I said, I haven't used, this is now the third, maybe fourth time that I've used these. Oh, and my shade is medium in the powder, by the way. But I really like how they all work together. I especially love the finish and the coverage of the foundation, so I am excited to continue using those. And then I am going to set my face with my Charlotte Tilbury Airless Flawless Setting Spray, which is amazing. I love it. I am ready to say it now that I officially love it more than my Huda Beauty Resting Boss Spray. So consider that favorite dethroned. I talked about this in a recent video where I did a surprise or they have a surprise or mystery box, Charlotte Tilbury did, that I bought. And along with it, I got her foundation, setting powder, setting spray, and I love this setting spray. Is it weird that I also love how long the sprays last? It's not like this or honestly a lot of other setting sprays where you get these short little bursts. As you can see right there, you get full face down the length of your face with one spritz. And so it just gives you like nice even coating. What a weird thing to like about a product, but hey. For brows, once again, nothing new. I'm going to use my Maybelline Brow Extensions in the shade Medium Brown. It is basically a pomade in a stick format with a lot of hairs, a lot of fine, hairy fibers in it. And I'm just going to run that through my brows. Okay. Brows done. Let's now move on to the rest of let's do the eyes and then plan the rest of the face accordingly. For the eyes, I'm going to be using some new cream shadows from Dominique Cosmetics. You know I can't resist a good cream shadow. And Dominique Cosmetics launched a whole collection, so I bought the shades, especially because, you guys, there are multi-chrome. What is this? There are multi-chromes in this collection. These two over here, and then like metallics, there's a matte shade. I recently used the shade Pretty Wild, this one right here, in an Instagram tutorial that I will put, let me scooch over so you can see it right here. The video doesn't do the best job at showing the complex colors. I really should have gotten it on video in natural light because, as you can probably see here, there are like blues and teals, but really the only thing that popped up there was like orange, the fiery orange and yellow, which is very pretty, but it's so much deeper than that. But I'll be sure to capture that in a future video. Maybe if I do a separate review or like an update or quick 5 things review video sort of. What? You get what I'm saying. This is not the last you'll see of this shade, but because I've already used it, I want to use some of the other things in here, like specifically the only matte shade they launched, which is like this really pretty rosy mauve in the shade Shy Girl. So is that video done playing? I'm just gonna, okay, so to apply this, I am going to put it directly on my lid. Ooh, that, you know what, let's zoom you in. You can't see anything from that. Come closer. There we go. Okay, so you can see I put that on my lid and it has done the job of transferring upward for me. So thanks, I think. And this is a Luxie 205 brush that I'm using to blend all over the place. What I noticed in wearing that first metallic multi-chrome shade when I first did, and the only other experience I've had with these cream shadows, I did notice that the more I layered it up, the flakier it got. So even though I was trying to build this uniform, hyper metallic, chromatic sheen to my lids, once the product dried down, it did get a little flaky. So I need to play with the application or the layering technique a little bit there. But this shade is a different story. This is going on beautifully. And I was impressed with the lasting power of that other shade. Like, even though I did notice a little bit of flaking where I had applied it at its heaviest, for the most part, it stayed in place all day. It totally dried down to be a powder texture as opposed to a cream. So that's good. So I have really high hopes for this one. Okay, and there is the other eye applied. I really like how these blended out. Now over the top, I want to apply the other duochrome. This is the shade called Electric Soul, and this actually has a purple component to its coloring, so probably a better match for the mauve that I just applied anyway. This, I'm just going to use the same brush, go in and apply it in the same way. Wow, it is, oh, I hope you can see that. It is green and purple. This reminds me of a Pat McGrath shadow, and I forget in which palette it is in, but oh, that's beautiful. So I got a little sloppy on this eye, so I'm just taking that initial color directly on my brush, and I'm gonna go run that through my crease. Kinda, sure. Okay, now let's apply some liner. First, I'm going into my waterline with my Esom Dual Eye Pencil in the Dual Platinum and Black, just using that black shade on my lower lash line. And then on my upper lash line, I am doing double duty with my eyeliner / eyelash adhesive. If you didn't watch my most recent review of this, I highly recommend it if you have ever struggled with applying your falsies like I have. This is my holy grail way of applying false lashes now because it is so fast and easy. So you just apply liner like that, and then go in with your lash. This is an Ardell Demi Wispy classic style, and you pop it on top. I forgot mascara. Oh well, press it in. You can take a lash applicator if you want to, which yeah, I'm going to. Especially because I didn't put mascara on my lashes. This is going to be a very special binding process, but yeah, just press your lash on in there. Dang, I wish I'd applied mascara. No, it's not so bad. It's not the worst, right? Please tell me it's not the worst. Okay, so here are the eyes done. Let's move on to the rest of the face. First, really quickly with bronzer, this is a new product, but it's not new to me. I've used the Charlotte Tilbury Superstar Film Star Bronze and Glow before, but I recently got it in that same box that I had mentioned before earlier in the video, and I'm just gonna do some light bronzing around the perimeter of the face. Nothing too heavy because I do have some more colorful blushes that I'm about to use up next. Okay, blush now is from OPV Beauty London. This is their Born to Shine blush palette, and I got this in a Trend Mood box. She recently did a fully Black-owned beauty box, and this gorgeous beauty of a palette was in here. Like, how beautiful is that color selection? And it's a mixture of mattes and shimmers. There are like 3 definitive mattes, 2 like highlighty blush shades, and this one up here in the center called Light looks like it has a hint of shimmer, but it's not quite as shiny as these 2 down here. So for this look, I'm gonna go in with, let's first start with Light. Let's just see where this shade Light takes us, because I have this habit when I do dramatic eyes of really going hard on the blush. But ever since getting that blush called Ecstasy in that Charlotte Tilbury box that looks like nothing almost in the pan compared to my skin tone, it actually shows up really nicely on my skin and complements a heavier eye look. Like, I really like that blush. Wow. Yes, that is pretty. But you know what's better than 1 blush? 2. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that with the shade Smile, because this has sort of a pinky berry / mauve undertone that seems like it would really complement the mauve I have in my eye. So I'm just going to mix Smile with Light, the same shade that I've put on my cheeks before, and just put a whisper of that shade there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's gorgeous. Okay, this is where you stop. This is where you say you like it, and then you stop, because maybe just highlighter. Maybe I do want to use one more thing from Range Beauty. They have these dual eye and highlights, and one's called Sunkissed. This on me is a little bit too deep to wear on my face. Oh, I wish I was wearing it on my, well, another video. We'll do it another video. But this No Shade color is this beautiful gold that I've worn as a highlight before, and I'm just gonna take this from Real Techniques. It is the setting brush. Oh, it's great for highlight though. This setting brush, again, same little sifter in here, where I just take a smidgen, a teensy little bit of product, and I'm just gonna, just a tiny little bit. Wow. Okay, we are like borderline overboard, so let's quit while we're ahead and move on to lips. I'm going to be using a new collection MAC recently launched and sent me, the Powder Kiss liquid lip colors. I'm going to use the shade Date Maker, which I also used in that recent Instagram video. They sent me, I think, maybe almost every shade in this collection, and so I have plans to swatch every shade and do like one of those. I haven't done one of those videos in a long time where I swatch every shade in a collection, but in a recent, do I have a hair? Is that what this is? What? Get off. In a recent video, my last video actually, where I reviewed that eyeliner false lash glue combo, I was wearing this shade from them, which is MAC Smash, this bright red. Really, really pretty comfortable formula, but I'll share my full thoughts in that upcoming video. Today, like I said, I'm going to be using this Date Maker shade, which looks deeper, I think, in the frosted tube, because on the lips, it's quite a bit lighter, I find, and more peachy, as opposed to the taupe that it kind of looks to me. Okay. Stop talking, focus. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, this is basically like a good lip shade to help me balance out my smoky eyes. It's just that right tone for my skin and the way I like to kind of balance out my eyes, cheeks, and lips without feeling too overdone. That's what this shade, I have a feeling, is going to be for me, and it's gonna sound weird, but this feels like wearing Cool Whip on your lips, and I love it because I love the texture of Cool Whip. I don't know. None of this makes any sense. It's very comfortable though. So that is this look using a whole bunch of new... Okay, come on, 90s 10 rule. Now is your time to shine. Let's see it. Let's see you in all your glory. You are less magnificent than I remembered. Anywho, this is the final look. I really hope you guys enjoyed seeing a lot of these products in use. Let me know your thoughts about them. Let me know what videos, like maybe separate reviews, or just how else you want to see these used, what more you want to hear about them in future videos. Let me know all that down in the comments below, and thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.